Right, so welcome. This will be an all levels practice. And so we'll be moving with the theme of patience today. And I invite you already to perhaps even come into a connection with that word and start to tap into your relationship or your experience of patience. What does that look like, or even how does it feel when the word lands in your body and in your mind? What does patience mean to you? So perhaps you're just keeping your eyes closed, or they might be open. But wherever you are, just start to hone in and try your best to draw your attention, draw your awareness, and even begin to tap into this idea of drawing your energy inward and let it land or align with that word, patience. You might even want to whisper that word to yourself or propose a question, whether it's verbally or vocally, sharing about it or mentally repeating it. What does patience mean to me? What has been my experience with that virtue? Whether it is that I had a lot of patience or I've been cultivating a lot of it, or moments of my life where I've lacked patience, where I've witnessed the example and the embodiment of that, or a lack of that. How does it feel in your body? I know that for myself, as I hear the word, it's almost like there's a sense of softness or arrival that happens. Patience. And I want to cultivate this idea or this intention that throughout our practice, we step into the embodiment of that word. How can I approach patience in my practice? Does it mean that I step into the ground of practicing patience with my body as I move through the postures and I hit moments of challenge or moments of ease? As I notice my body experiencing resistance, closure, or a slight pushback. Maybe it's patience as I begin to witness my mind and the content that moves through it. Perhaps my mind is feeling a little restless or quite active today. Perhaps I'm feeling tired, slow, tender. And with this idea of embodying that quality or that virtue, I want to invite you or create this offering for you to sort of explore this concept of patience as a way of not forcing things, but rather stepping into this idea that I can witness what is here and I can step into the stillness of observing things as they come and go, as they slowly move through their own process of shifting and changing, rather than rushing through my practice or rushing beyond the mat and off the mat into my life. I can allow things to organically unfold. I know that personally for me, patience is quite a difficult virtue to cultivate. Sometimes we want things to go our way, or we want to create a certain reaction, certain transformation, certain activity. It doesn't necessarily happen in the timing that we planned. Sometimes we arrive on the mat and our body is not necessarily moving at the pace and the rhythm that we wished or that we expected it to. And so this is a beautiful opportunity to just kind of soften the grip around any expectations or any ideas that my practice or my life needs to unfold in a certain way. Can I just allow things to move, to open, to flow organically, rather than rushing their own unique process? Because that's where beauty really lies, when we just take a few steps back and allow things to unpack. So maybe in this moment, you're connecting to your own personal intention for your practice. There's a reason why you're here today. So allow that to come alive again as you start to think about that intention that brought you here. And see if you can allow that intention to soften from the head space down into the heart space. Maybe there's a prayer that you can attach to that intention. You're already formulating a desire around how to embody patience. How does that relate to your previous intention or the original intention that brought you here? Feel supportive in any way, I invite you to notice your breath. And see if your next inhale can be just a slightly bit longer. As you exhale, perhaps sighing it out. And breathing in through the nose, send the breath down into the abdomen. The ribcage expanding and your body lifting taller. And as you exhale, perhaps shoulders begin to soften. The hips and thighs can become heavier. And a couple more breaths like that, and in your own unique way, just observing what is happening and what is real for you right now. Might be present sensations in the body, so I invite you to breathe with them. Use the breath to hold them with gentle care, rather than dismissing them or wanting them to change too quickly. Fall in love with the sensations that are here, because as we step closer to a more intimate relationship with it, we get to know ourselves a little bit more. We get to find clarity as to how I've been moving, and perhaps even find a resolution of broadened awareness, broadened connection. How do I move through my days, and how does that make me feel? And if I can have a chance to step forward into the next few moments of life, is there anything that I would do differently? Can I be patient enough for me to figure that out with grace? So you continue to breathe. Perhaps you're tapping into this three-part breathing: low belly, mid belly, chest. Exhaling in the same way as you empty the chest, the mid belly, then the lower belly. Perhaps you're moving beyond just the front body and experiencing your side body in the same way. Hips, waist, rib cage, and even armpits. Exhaling from the very upper ribs, through the lower ribs and the waist, and down into the hips. Your final few breaths, now explore the multidimensionality of breathing and feeling that expansion forward on the lateral side of the body and also in your back body. Lower back, mid back, upper back. Exhaling, upper back, mid back, lower back. Keep breathing with that same intention and that same wave of multidimensionality. As you find your next exhale, invite you to soften the chin down towards the chest. With your next inhale, roll the right ear to the right shoulder. Pausing there for a moment. You're welcome to bring the right arm over the head, and just as you bend the elbow, let the right arm, hand, or forearm land onto the left side of the head. Allow both shoulders to soften here and pull back towards the wall behind you. And see if you can reconnect to the length of your spine. So rooting down into the hips, feeling every single vertebrae reach up towards the sky. Maybe from here, left arm can extend out to the side. Maybe wiggle your fingertips around. Maybe open and close the fist. Maybe begin to twist and rotate your entire arm. Just getting curious about any sensations, your present experience here, and let's be patient as the body shares the information with us. Mindfulness requires a lot of patience. It is not so frequent or so often that the mind finds that inner stillness inside of ourselves. Just pausing, breathing, giving a kind invitation for the mind to settle in. As you feel ready, and release the left hand onto your knees or lap. The right palm drop and just allow it to rest on the knee or lap. And then roll the chin down to the chest. Bring the left ear to the left shoulder and roll the head around in a couple circles around the spine. Maybe after a few times you'd like to move a little bit faster. Perhaps you're staying with a very slow motion. I invite you to notice where your breath is. And if you lost connection to it, just be patient. The mind loves movement, the mind loves wandering, so we can just slowly bring it back with kindness. As you feel ready, just continue rolling the head and allow the left ear to pull towards the left shoulder. We'll pause there for a moment. From there, left arm can come all the way up and over the head as you bend the elbow. Maybe the forearm or the palm can rest onto the right side of the head. Maybe from here, the right arm extends out to the side. Invite it to wiggle your fingertips around. What are you feeling? Maybe opening and closing the fist. Maybe twisting and rotating the arm. A couple more breaths, so these are just options. I invite you to get curious if there's anything else that you'd like to explore here. And oftentimes these options or these intuitive guidances come pretty clear. And other times they don't. So can we be patient? As you feel ready, allowing the right palm to drop back down into the knee or lap. Left hand will just drape down towards the ground. Chin rolls down into the chest, and then right ear comes to the right shoulder. Roll your head back and around and start to move, drawing circles around the axis of your spine. Does it feel different in any way to move in this direction? Does it feel the same? Right or wrong? But what is actually true to you is valid. Perhaps after a couple rounds, you'd like to move a little faster. Maybe not, that's okay. What feels the most supportive for you today? Once you feel ready, let's go ahead and soften the chin down towards the chest when you're ready. And as the head begins to lift back to neutral, shoulders can lift. Receive a full breath here. Exhale, rolling them back and down. Start to move like this in a few more times. And maybe as you do this, your palms are moving with this motion. And you're caressing your thighs or even feeling the texture of your clothing, your skin. And we're using really our senses to become more present. Presence can cultivate patience. As you feel ready, we'll just pause and begin to shift into a tabletop. So coming into palms and knees as you remove your props. You were sitting on a blanket or a block. Allow it to come to the side and keep it available so that at any time that you may need to modify your practice, you have it accessible. As we come onto our palms and knees, first time here, so what does it feel like to enter the shape? We touch and feel the difference in texture as we were touching ourselves, the clothing, our skin, and now the mat. As we start to stack the shoulders over our wrists and the hips over the knees, can I start to press into my finger pads as well as my top of the feet? And then from there, maybe rocking your hips left or right a couple times. Using that to even look and rotate the gaze all the way back behind. Let any intuitive movement and organic motions to come. So really just noticing that your body is an endless well of wisdom, and as you breathe and connect to it, a lot of information and a lot of guidance can be accessed. Now, as you feel ready, coming into your neutral spine, just to move more in the sagittal plane, forward and back for cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly down. Lifting the gaze, shoulders to the back. Exhale, curling into the spine. Really broaden the space between the shoulder blades, exposing the back of the head. Inhale, drop the belly, pulling the shoulders back. Exhale, curling into the spine, let the chin and tailbone tuck underneath it. Just keep moving forward and back like this between cat and cow. Noticing what it feels like to invite this kind of movement. What is my body experiencing? And are there any sensations that I can tune to and become aware of? And ultimately, we're seeking to connect to the body. We're seeking to feel ourselves. But then oftentimes, we tend to misunderstood or misalign with the sensations that are present. So sensations we want to shy away from here. Keep this in the back of your mind as you move through the practice. Anything that feels like sharp stabbing sensations, throbbing sensations in the joints and in the bones. We want to make sure that we actually step away from that by coming out of a posture or moving a little bit further back, or perhaps even modifying. Sensations we want to welcome in, sensations in the muscles. Like a little tension, a little resistance, or even a little shaking is a sign that we are working with the body, that we're seeking strength. And while it may invite a little bit of discomfort, we can always come in and out of those places and be patient enough to know that everything will come and go, that everything is just a constant flux of change. And that I have the capacity to just witness. And that is what, for me, patience means. Capacity to witness things. Capacity to hold space for things to organically move in the rhythm that the divine has actually orchestrated. Any other intuitive movement is absolutely welcome here. So let's take about a minute to just tap into any corners of your body where there's a craving, where there's a yearning, where there's an aspiration. As you feel ready, we'll start to come into a stillness. I'm going to invite you to stretch out the wrists a little bit more so that we can start to release any tension or unprocessed energy throughout the arms and shoulders. So the first thing is that we're starting to rotate the hands and fingers to point outward. And we're going to continue that walk and that rotation as slowly as possible so that, again, I can be mindful enough of where is my edge. So that might mean that the fingers rotate slightly angled out towards the edges of the mat. Maybe they come all the way towards my knees. Then I'm going to invite you to press through the base of the hands and notice if you're caving in or dropping the heart inside of those biceps. And can you start to press the mat away and actually lift away from the shoulders? That might mean that your spine starts to curl a little bit or even round a little bit more. If it feels sustainable for you to stay here, that's fine. Breathe through any sensations that are present, but also be mindful that you can always tuck your toes and find a little bit more support, or even just allow the hands to rotate a little bit out so that, again, we are being patient with the body. We are meeting it where it's at, not forcing into anything. As you continue to be here, and your breath becomes deeper, more current, more present, feel free to release any sounds that can be a means for energy to move. So if there's tension, if there's sensations that begin to intensify, vocalize them. Final breath. I invite you to tuck your toes behind you if they're not there yet, and then very slowly start to rotate the hands and fingers point out. And slowly make your way to pointing forward. One at a time, you're going to use your right palm to support and then flip the left hand so the top of the hand is actually on the mat. And with a lot of patience, just begin to extend the elbow, allowing the front of the wrist to come towards the earth. Maybe from here, you'd like to explore a little bit of a rock by leaning back. Or just finding that moment of stillness if that feels just good enough for you. We're going to slowly begin to peel the back of the hand, forming a fist. Once there's a fist, very slowly pick up that hand and place the palm down towards the mat. We'll just pause there for a moment, noticing the difference between right and left side. Then anchoring into your left hand, just go ahead and flip the right palm so the back of the hand is actually folding onto the mat. You can straighten that elbow or keep a light bend, there's no problem. Just notice what feels the most supportive for you today. And then you can explore a little bit of a rock as you start to lean back. Breathing deeply. Wherever you are, know that it's perfect as long as you're really communicating with your body in a way that feels like the embodiment of patience. I'm not here to force my body into anything that it's not ready yet. I'm here to work with my body, meet it where it's at, and invite it to come into a practice of kindness with me. As you feel ready, we're just going to peel the back of that hand off the ground. Just form a fist right there on the mat. Then picking it up, slowly opening the fingers wide, placing the right palm down on the mat. Just find a moment there to connect and notice the difference. As you feel ready, let's go ahead and walk the hands a little bit closer to the top of the mat and slightly angled forward. And then pressing into those hands, especially the index and thumb, we're going to invite you to tuck your toes, cover the knees about an inch or two off the mat. Notice that now your arms are engaged and you're pushing the mat away through those arms, firmly engage the chest. So that it's not only coming from the elbows or shoulder joints. The core is active, the thighs are beginning to engage. Take another full breath here.
As you exhale, begin to lift the hips, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Find some intuitive movement here in this posture. So it's still early in the class, we're warming up, we're awakening and connecting to the body. As you become aware of the sensations, perhaps in the back of the legs, perhaps you're still noticing the sensations post stretches in the hands, forearms, upper arms and shoulders. You're invited to even move the jaw around, burst the lips, or rock the head side to side, nodding no or nodding yes a few times. And as you feel complete, let's tap into stillness, keeping a light bend on the knees so heels are lifted off the ground, and use that as an opportunity to lift your tailbone even higher. One more long inhale here. And a complete exhale. As you feel ready, let's roll forward into a plank, bringing shoulders over the wrists, find a long line through the body. Let's take another deep inhale here, and as you exhale, drop your left knee to the mat. Once you feel complete and balancing the equal weight between the hands, you can float the right leg up behind, the toes will come down. Receive a full breath here as you lengthen from that right heel to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, draw the knee to nose, thigh to chest, curl into the spine as you push the mat away. Inhale, right leg back, extending from the heel to the crown. Exhale, knee to nose, thigh to chest, press through the finger pads. Just continue moving like this, finding your own rhythm, finding your own pace. Being patient with what feels good and supportive. And that means that as we explore our practice, using our body, we're tapping into this idea of releasing any expectations. My body's changing at all times. My mind is changing at all times, and thus my practice will change at all times. The next time you extend the right leg all the way back, just keeping the toes pointing down. Feel the right inner thigh spinning towards my left. The front here, just cross that right foot over to the left side of the mat, maybe on the back corner, maybe even outside of your yoga. And then begin to look back over to the left side. See if you can actually bring the gaze all the way back to your right heel. Finding a little bit of a twist, send the breath into the right side of your body. And then keep pressing into the hands so the elbows are locking and you're pushing away from the earth. One more breath. From there, looking all the way forward to the mat, this right leg will form a half moon shape as you bring it all the way into the outside of your right palm. Coming into lizard pose, blocks or any other thoughts are welcome here to elevate the ground and find a supportive shape. You're invited to slowly lean forward as you inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, see if you can straighten the right leg a little bit or a lot, and then bow over inside of that right leg. We'll move like this a couple times. Inhale, rebending the right knee, slowly dropping the hips, lift the crown of the head. Exhale, open half split. That right leg doesn't have to straighten at all. Slowly coming back into that lizard pose. Deep inhale, hips come forward. Exhale, slightly pulling the hips towards the wall behind you. Just one more like this. Inhale, dropping the hips forward, lifting the crown of the head. Exhaling, slowly shifting back for an open half split. Come back into lizard pose when you're ready, and from there, stay here for a couple more breaths. You're welcome to roll into the outer arch of that right foot, so the right knee opens to the right side, tackling the inner right hip joint. And as the hips come forward, you might start to notice that the front of your left hip starts to activate or receive attention, receive sensations. And I invite you to draw the right foot back to the mat if you're rolling into the outer arch. And go ahead and tuck your back toes under, lift the back knee, and spin your left heel down. Feel free to bring your blocks with you as you open to the long edge of your mat. Make sure that the feet are parallel here, or at least at a 45-degree angle, rotating in. And then with your next exhale, feel free to fold inside of the thighs. Prasarita Pauttanasana, wide-legged forward bend. 3 full breaths here.
few more breaths here. Final breath here. On an inhale, find a halfway lift, flat back. Walk your palms to frame the right foot at the top of the mat. Slowly spin onto your left toes. And from there, step forward into a forward bend with Vinyasa. Inhale, coming slowly into a roll throughout the spine. We'll meet at the top of the mat, standing in Vinyasa mountain pose. And as you lift, inhale, reach your arms up high. Exhale, slowly fold forward in Vinyasa. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, right leg will step back. Release the right knee to the mat and tuck your toes. Inhale, sweep the arms up high, low press and lunge. Exhale, hips soften towards the mat and shoulders also drop. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. One more long inhale here. And then exhale, palms will drop to the mat and then slowly moving back in downward facing dog. Taking a very long inhale and a long exhale. As you inhale, roll forward to plank. Drop your right knee below you. Once the weight is equally distributed through the hands, left leg lifts. Take a full breath in. Exhale, knee to nose, thigh to chest, pushing the mat away a couple more times on your own on the left side. Imagining that as I lengthen, there's a long line of energy from my left heel to the crown of my head. Every time I lengthen, I'm pushing that mat away. Every time I'm curling in, I'm pushing the mat away and rounding my spine. The next time your left leg extends back behind you, keeping the left toes pointed down, feel the left inner thigh spinning towards your right and crossing it over to the right leg, into the right side. Look over the right shoulder, try to connect to your left heel behind you. Send a nice gaze there. Push the mat away, feel that energy lifting off through the wrists. Final long inhale. Gaze can return forward, very slowly finding that half moon shape as you rotate that left leg all the way to the outside of your left hand. Blocks are excellent sources of support in that shape. So as you bend into the left knee, notice that the hips can slowly come towards the top of your mat, receiving a full breath here through the nose. As I exhale, shifting back, open, half split. A couple more breaths like this. Inhale, deepening the bend on the left. Exhale, pushing back. Inhale, deepening. Exhale, pulling the hips back. Twice more like this on your own. Noticing what is your experience, what does your body feel like? Rather than forcing the body, just meeting it with kindness and practicing patience. Next time you rebend that left knee, dropping the hips forward towards the ground. You can stay here or roll into the outer arch of your left foot. So the left knee slightly angles out. Really feeling the inner hip of that left side while simultaneously the front of the right hip is receiving attention. Full breath in. Full breath out. Release the sole of the left foot back down to the mat. Tuck your back toes, lift your right knee off the mat. As you spin your right heel down, you're welcome to slowly walk the hands over to the long edge. Make sure the feet are in the same plane and then fold inside of your thighs when you're ready. Finding at least 3 full breaths here. Deep inhale. Exhaling. Full breath in. Exhaling. Final breath. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back.
Walk your hands to bring the left foot at the top of your mat. Spin onto your back toes and then slowly push forward. As you come into that forward bend, curl your spine and roll over. Vertebrae by vertebrae into the last mountain pose. As you lift up, inhale, arms lift up high. Exhale, fold it forward with the hands back. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, left leg steps back, release the knee down on tuck toes. And then inhale, sweeping arms up and over your head. Exhale, allowing yourself to pause here. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, shoulder soften. 1 more deep breath. Exhale, palms to the mat, slowly stepping back, downward facing dog. Inhale deeply through the nose. And exhale. And slowly we'll begin to walk forward, allowing every step to be an opportunity to get more present. What am I feeling? Can I sense the texture of your mat? And I notice every muscle that is micro-adjusting and working together to take me into these motions, into these shapes. As I arrive at the top, slowly rolling up one last time, vertebrae by vertebrae, as a ragdoll being lifted by the divine. As I lift up to a standing posture, roll the shoulders up and back. Palms to meet at the heart center together in Untitled Chapter. Let's connect to a prayer of gratitude. What are you grateful for today? A moment to honor my teachers with this prayer, honoring the lineage that I practice, the lineage that I'm devoted to. Welcome to even bring a person in your mind that's inspired. Two rounds of sun salutations. As you inhale, arms lift up high, grow tall. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, drop your palms, step to plank position. Inhale deeply in that plank. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga. Inhale, finding cobra or upward dog. Exhale, finding downward facing dog. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling. You're welcome to walk forward or feet come together. As you lift your heels, bend the knees. Look forward, receive a full breath in here. Exhale, either walk or hop forward. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale to fold over thighs, bending the knees. Inhale, chair pose, Uttanasana. Exhale, let the weight be shifted into heels. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Fullest breath in. Exhale, Tadasana, palms to the heart center in prayer. Inhale, reaching arms over the head. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping to plank pose. Taking a deep inhale in that plank position. Exhale, lowering down knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath there. Full breath up. Final breath here through the nose. And letting it go. You're welcome to walk forward or feet come together. Bend the knees, look forward as the heels will lift. Exhale to hop. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, bend your knees a lot. Inhale, chair pose, Uttanasana. Finding the weight in your heels here. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Fullest breath in. Exhale, palms to the heart, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, hop or step back to plank. Your chair's moving through the Vinyasa. It's up to you. And we'll be back in downward facing dog for one standing series here. As you find downward dog, taking a long inhale here and let it go through the mouth. As you inhale, right leg floats high. Exhale, right knee comes to the nose. Push the mat away. You've been here before, very similar. Step forward, the right foot back, knee will remain lifted. Inhale, arms rise into a high crescent lunge. As we exhale, twist over to the right, left arm forward. Right arm comes back behind you. 2 more breaths, inhaling deeply. Exhale fully. Full breath in through your nose. Exhaling. Inhale, both arms lift over the head. Exhale, pausing there, find your balance. 1 more breath here, lifting a little taller. Exhale, palms come to the mat, warrior props, and then shifting to warrior 3, left leg rises. You've been here before, but now you're standing on the right foot versus standing on your right knee. So spinning into the left toes, allow the left inner thigh to spin towards your right. Long line from the left heel to the crown of your head, full breath in. Exhale, knee to nose, curl your spine underneath you. 3 more times, inhale to left leg extends back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Last one like this, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, knee to nose, pushing firmly through the right foot on the mat. Release your left foot down, forward fold. Bend the knees, shift the weight onto the heels. Inhale, chair pose, Uttanasana. Slowly finding that nice bend into your knees. If you look down, can you see your toes beyond them? Nice, everybody. 1 more long breath. We're going to bring the arms out to the sides in a T. And then as you bring them in front of you, we're going to cross right arm underneath your left. Bend the elbows, maybe back of the hands meet. Maybe you wrap hands together. Slowly from there, begin to straighten the legs. Roll into the ball of your right foot. See if you can lift this right leg a little bit, and then as you cross it over your left knee will begin to bend again. You can drop the right toes to the back of the mat. Slowly allow yourself to find a kickstand in that eagle shape. Otherwise, toes may lift and wrap around that left calf. Focusing here for a couple more breaths. Steady breath and acknowledge that your body, even if it's wobbly, even if it stumbles, you can cultivate that inner stillness and be patient enough, because this too shall pass. Take another long inhale here. And exhale. First, releasing the bind of the arms, hands can come up to the sides. As you start to straighten the legs, right thigh will come up towards the chest. You can give it a nice pull first. And then we're going to transition to the mat. So as you swing this right leg to the back of your mat, palms are going to drop down towards the earth. Right toes drop down, right knee releases down, and then shifting the hips, have split here. I'm going to invite you to actually bend into that left knee a lot. Square the hips as much as possible. Keep the length of your lower back, and then from there begin to fold. Maybe the left leg will straighten a little bit more. One more long inhale here. I'm going to invite you to maybe even not know a couple more times, exploring different sensations. And then as you feel complete, we're just going to lift the gaze and re-bend that left knee. We're going to frame the left foot with both palms, stepping back into down dog and feeling ready for the left side. Left leg will float up high, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, push the mat away, then step forward, back knee will remain lifted. Inhale, arms lift high, high lunge. Exhale to twist, left arm forward, right arm to the back. Nice, beautiful. Inhale to find length. Exhale to hold. One more breath. Exhaling. Inhale, both arms will lift over the head, chest is facing forward. Exhale to hold, find your balance in the center. Deepest inhale here. As you exhale, palms will drop down to the mat, maybe reaching for black. Shift the weight into warrior three. Right leg will lengthen behind you. You've been here before, but now you're standing on your left foot versus finding the foundation through your left knee. As you spin the right thigh towards your left, can you find another breath to lengthen? Exhale, knee touches nose, curl into your spine 3 more times like this. As you draw the right knee towards the nose, that last time, slowly release the right foot down, bend the knees, shift the weight to the heels, chair pose. As you tuck your toe under, can you shift the weight back into the heels? Slowly look down, see if you can see your toes beyond the knees. And from there, arms open to the sides of the T. As you cross them in front of you this time, left arm comes to meet the right, maybe the back of the hands will meet, or hands will twist together. First, let's straighten the legs, and then roll into the ball of your left foot. Stay grounded through the four corners of your right. As the left leg lifts, you cross over your right thigh bends again. Left toes may drop to the outside of the right foot. You're lifting and dropping the toes around your left calf. Eagle, posture, Gadadasa. You're standing strong through the four corners of that right foot. Allow your focus to stay neutral, stay patient, you got this. Even in the moments of challenge, we can cultivate that incredible virtue that allows us to witness things as come and go. Without rushing anything, allow yourself to be there. Sometimes, even in discomfort, we can extract one of the greatest lessons. We're actually strong enough, and sometimes stronger than we think we are. Slowly from here, we're just going to open the arms first. And as I start to straighten my right leg, left leg is going to lift. Pull the left knee a little bit closer to you. Strong through the right leg, slowly begin to shift that left leg all the way back. Palms come to the earth. Left toes drop down, left knee drops. Shift the weight back into that half split. You're free to keep a nice bend on that right knee first so that you can square the hips and find the length of your spine first. From there, we can lengthen to breathe in. Exhale, slowly folding forward. Maybe from here, start to not know, or yes, a few times. Final breath here. And as you feel ready, we're lifting the gaze, we're lifting the spine, we're bending the right knee. And as you feel ready, you can step back into downward facing dog. I invite you to roll forward into a plank, just enough to drop your knees. Push back and have a seat on your heels, just to transition onto one side of your hips. As the legs come forward, we're just going to remove any extra flesh from underneath the sit bones and allow the legs to be just about hip width apart, just slight separation. Maybe there's a bend in the knees that comes to allow you to sit at the very edge of the sit bones. Maybe that helps you find the length of your spine as well. The head, receive a full breath here. Exhale, folding forward over the front. mindful in this position. So what you want is to really sit at the very edge of the sit bones and the glutes. So that the lower back and the main lengthening. So if that means that I'm bending the knees and pulling my shoulders back in order to bring my belly closer to thighs, find necessary adjustments that get you there. Final three full breaths here. Deep inhale. Inhale. Deep and rapid. And slowly begin to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. I'm going to invite you to either flex or point the feet and keep rolling onto your backs. As you roll onto your backs, palms are going to rest down next to the hips. And with your core, see if you can lift the legs slowly up to a nice perpendicular line with the mat. You can stay here if you're looking for a more gentle inversion, maybe even relax the ankles, towards the knee joints. Perhaps you're ready for plow pose, so with your next exhale, press into the back body a lot, especially the back of your arms. Lift the legs up and over and allow the legs to come over the head. Maybe toes will come to the ground behind you. Perhaps you need some extra support here, so you can allow the hands to come into the lower back. Try to walk your elbows a little bit closer together. If it feels better to just release the hands down on the mat and interlace the fingers. From there, you can also walk the shoulder blades a little bit closer to the midline. Stay for a couple more breaths here in plow. It's going to be an excellent release for the lower back and the sciatic. I know it's a challenging posture, so allowing yourself to breathe. Allowing yourself to relax the shoulders, relax the neck. Feel a slight softening of the jaw. You're welcome to stay in plow pose. If you'd like to slowly begin to shift to shoulder stand, imagine that as you support your lower back, the hips are going to start to rotate and pull closer to the head. The legs are going to start to lift up to the sky. You might notice that the ankles stack over the knees start to stack over the hips. Hips can slightly be angled with the shoulders, so completely over them. Feel the back of the shoulder blades squeezing together to the midline. Feel the collarbones spreading apart, even as much as possible, even if it feels subtle. Notice if that creates a different effect on your neck, the back of the head. One more breath here. As you feel ready, we're slowly going to let the glutes pull forward towards the top of the mat as the legs come over the head, slowly reaching for the wall or the floor behind the head. Once the legs are over you, maybe your knees are slightly bent, maybe knees come closer to the shoulders, create a gap for your head. And then hands can come back to the mat here. Use your palms as brakes as you begin to roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once the lower back releases, allow the knees to open wide, maybe soles of the feet will come to touch. You're still lifted with the legs, so think about a butterfly that is completely off the ground. Maybe you reach forward and grab onto the arches or ankles of your feet, and you pull the feet closer to the navel. And maybe from here, you're coming into your final pose, happy baby, or just giving yourself some time to stretch there. And as you feel ready, hug the knees and thighs towards your chest, give yourself a loving hug. One final spinal twist. You can let the arms come out to the sides. Gently hop your hips over to the right side. With your next exhale, knees can rotate through the midline and drop over to the left side. 2 breaths here. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhaling. Full breath in. Full last breath out. So if you're ready, coming back through center. Shifting the hips over to the left side now. And dropping the knees over to the right side. Full breath in. Full last breath out. As you feel ready, coming back to center. Maybe giving yourself one final hug, loving hug. Thanking yourself for your practice today. Thanking yourself for an opportunity to cultivate patience. This is the hardest one to step into with patience, Shavasana. So allowing your body to shift and to come into a final resting shape. This could be laying down on your back on the side or even seated meditations. As you begin to shift from doing into being, oftentimes this requires a lot from us. It's an invitation to acknowledge our feelings and our thoughts surrounding this idea of worthiness without doing or acting. So as you shift again from doing into being, you still carry this idea that I am worthy. And can I be patient enough to receive the effects of my practice, even if I'm not clear enough just yet? Can I be patient enough to just be here without necessarily rushing into the next moment of my life? We'll be here just for 2 more minutes, absorbing, reflecting, integrating. Allow your body to notice where it meets the earth. See if you can give your weight down into its mother. As you scan the body, scan your perfect form. Notice where you can soften the grip and allow things to organically be, to organically rest, and to organically shift. What does patience mean to you? How does it land in your body? Where can we, for the sake of co-creating the perfect and harmonious rhythm of life, where can we embody more patience?
Nature doesn't rush. Everything unfolds in its perfect rhythm, even when through our limited perception, things don't move quick enough, or they move too fast. They're naturally unfolding, naturally creating, and organically flowing. So where can we, off the mat now, embody that same quality? I'm invited to connect to your breath. Allow each current to travel through your body with patience, illuminating with the light of awareness what you carry within and how you feel right now. In your own unique time, with no rushing, you can begin to move your body in the ways that feel good. And if you are laying down, allowing yourself to slowly gather transitions, movements, and shapes that can invite a journey into a comfortable seat. We'll all meet here. I invite you to place one hand near the heart center and one near the abdomen. And as you receive your final few breaths within this practice and collective space, really formulating this intention, this desire, with this short positive phrase, affirmation, on an I statement, that as I move from the mat and into my day, I will practice patience in any arena of my life that I needed today. And until you repeat that to yourself. We honor this practice stemming from the indigenous tradition and the culture of ancient India, where we honor the community that extended us with this wisdom. And may we honor ourselves for the courage that it's required to bring awareness within. Namaste. Thank you so much for your time. I pray that you have a wonderful day and that you feel supported by your own body, by your own breath, and all the qualities and virtues that you have within. I'm always here if you need anything from me. You have a really beautiful and easy day. Thank you again for showing up.